This is where we come from, yeah, we did it. City on my back, I'm committed. This is where we come from, yeah, we made it. Now the whole team celebrating. We like, oh, 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 oh. Don't mistake the new me for the old me. They can't stop me now, I'm with the home team. No beginner, I'm a winner. Took a couple losses, now I'm cooking, let me simmer. Yeah, yeah, tunnel vision, all I see is win, 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 win. This my city section where you been. We move faster alone, but go further together. We can weather any weather forever. A dream team, I done seen things. Confidence is on 100,000. I got family for miles, running up the mileage. Made it through some trials and some tribulations. Now me and the team out here celebrating, yeah. This is where we come from, yeah, we did it. City on my back, I'm committed. This is where we come from, yeah, we made it. Now the whole team celebrating. We like, oh, 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 oh. Forget the things you probably thought you knew. A new day is approaching, turn the gray skies into blue. I grew up on these same blocks, school of hard knocks. Had to get it on a hard time, took the hard shots, but we made it. Anticipated, highly decorated. The home team is winning, celebrated. The victory is all mine, and everything is alright, alright. And you know how to see things, confidence is on 100,000. I got family for miles, running up the mileage. Made it through some trials and some tribulations. Now me and the team out here celebrating, yeah. This is where we come from, yeah, we did it. City on my back, I'm committed. This is where we come from, yeah, we made it. Now the whole team celebrating. We like, oh, 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 oh.
All right. Yes, I am still alive. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Spike Kool-Aid. Man, 2 months later for April the 24th, 2026. It has been. The last time I was on with you guys on this channel was before free agency. That's how long it's been. I am sorry for that. This channel had just crossed 6,000 subscribers. You know, stuff happens in the family. And I'm realizing that I can't do it all. I'm going to have to cut some things out. So I'm going to probably have to get rid of some channels because I can't keep doing it all. In addition to that, I have been checked out of this team. I've been enjoying life. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get my weight together, trying to build some muscle, trying to eat right. Watching the Pistons, man. The Pistons have been a great distraction. I'm so happy I'm back into basketball. It's a lot softer than I remember. It's a lot of three-pointers. The Pistons game the other day that they played and they beat the Magic was very reminiscent. It actually was like we were transported back in time to the going to work Pistons when they didn't score 100 points. I mean, we're talking about it was the most ridiculous third quarter I've ever seen. I had to look and see how many points did the Orlando Magic have in the third quarter. They wound up with 16 points, but they were at 3 for the longest. So this new NBA takes some getting used to. You know, a lot of screaming at the basket. A lot of three-pointers. The Pistons don't take a lot. So, you know, I am a little worried about the Pistons, though, in the long, watching these other teams, man, the San Antonio Spurs, the Oklahoma City Thunder, that if Cade is off the floor, man, I think it's going to be a problem. So I just, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, so it feels good to be back into the Pistons. I can thank you guys for that. And actually, you know, the Pistons winning, man, that streak that they went on, I've been watching them all season. So when they went on that streak to begin the season, I've been watching them since then. And I'm invested now fully. My wife and I will have our 10-year anniversary in a few weeks. And if the Pistons win, the Pistons are in the second round. One of those games we'll go to after we go out to eat. So asked her, did she want to go? She said, sure. She's been at LCA. I haven't, so I'm looking forward to that. And I actually am going to wear some Pistons gear. I won't disrespect them and wear some Lions gear. So shout out to the Pistons, man. And shout out to you guys. We got 34 people over here. Shout out to you guys for still being subscribed, still rocking with your boy, man, even though I disappear like that. But the goal is to grow this channel. You might see a new show on the channel, the Honolulu Cheese Podcast. I'm getting some feedback from you guys, so it's okay to leave feedback, respectable feedback. If you have any feedback on any of the creators that are part of the network, you can leave your feedback. It's okay, and I will talk to them about it, see if we can, work on some things and get things more interesting. I realize if it ain't me, y'all not clicking. It's crazy, man. So also, Syndicats 365, shout out to you guys last night. We had a phenomenal show. We had probably our highest viewership yet of 150, and hopefully you guys keep that going. So it's the Lions right now have got me in a place where, and if you didn't see the show with Spirit of Detroit from Wednesday night, we had a great show. And I'm sorry about the volume. You guys couldn't hear him because he wasn't on a microphone, so it was very difficult. Plus, he was speaking low, so it was hard to hear. I went back and listened to the show. I was like, man, you can barely hear him. You could hear us three fine, but you could barely hear him. Talking to him, listening to him and seeing the place that he was in was very kind of, it was satisfying. It was satisfying. I'm like, yo, I'll be 47 years old. I'm tired of fighting. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm tired of fighting on Twitter. I'm tired of fighting in the comment section. I wouldn't mind just going back to being a fan. Not a fan with a YouTube channel, not a fan, but a fan. Just where I was sitting on the couch. There were days that I was sitting on the couch watching the Lions. And sometimes I want to go back to those days where it's just like, I go to the game and that's it. So anyway, that's it, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We got Nephew. We got Matthew, Flint Lions fan. What up, God? We got Braylon, Ned, Rich. How you doing, sir? We've got, who else we got? Let me blow this up, man. I cannot see. I got to go back up. R. Mason Edge. I did see that. We'll look at the edges today. I am going to try my hardest not to make a negative comment today. Hey, you know what, Ned? It's okay, bro. If you make, I'm not even going to call it negative. I'm going to call you being a fan, bro. That's what, that's probably the most irritating thing about all of this is what I've noticed is that people have lost fandom. It's not about being a fan. You are not allowed to speak your opinion. Listen, if you love Blake Miller, fine. If you hated Blake Miller, fine. If you think Blake Miller was okay, do you believe BPA was Blake Miller? If your answer, whatever your answer is, that's your answer. That's your answer. Yesterday, Blake Miller, I don't care nothing about, look, Blake Miller, we needed a tackle. We got a tackle. You got people that are not a fan of it. You got people that are, look, I'm looking at it. We needed a position. I did get irritated yesterday. Brad Holmes, man, when I heard him say the way he was raised, I'm just like, dog, I'm over like the word, we haven't heard the word grit in a long time. And he brought it up last night. And I'm gonna keep it a buck, man. Brad Holmes to me is like being in a marriage that you done with. You're just over that marriage and you just there. That's how I am. I'm over Brad Holmes. I'm ready to move on. If he brings us a championship, that's great. Fine. I'm just ready, but I'm more interested in the fan base having their own opinions because you're not allowed to do that anymore. So Ned, if you want to be negative, to your heart's content, bro. There was a time that none of this existed. So do what you want to do, whatever makes you happy, bro. Negative, positive, on the fence, it doesn't matter. Whatever you do is what you do. Let me see. How did we do good or bad last night? Look, yesterday was a pick we needed, and Blake is solid. The word that you're going to hear is solid. There's some people that don't like it. There's some people that love it. He's a solid pick. But look, this is where we are. And I said last night in my reaction video that he was a project. What I meant is he needed to be coached up. He needs to be coached up. According to his scouting report, he needs to be coached up. When you listen to Dan Campbell, when you listen to Brad Holmes, he said he basically needs to be coached up, that he's going to come in and look, he might, I don't know if he's going to start. Maybe Panay starts or Panay moves to left tackle or he gets a lot of work during the preseason. That is, what's my man, Miller. Maybe he does that. I don't know. I wouldn't say he's going to start, but he could start. Did you see that BS that the OKC refs pulled? No, but I did see that, first of all, that I did see Shea getting away with a lot of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what's a foul in the NBA. I have no idea. I'm like, okay, that's a foul, but wait a minute, that wasn't a foul. So, yeah. Piston Syndicate loading, too. Congratulations. Thank you, Moff Yard. I'm assuming you mean my 10-year anniversary. Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Second marriage. This one lasted longer than the first, so it's yeah, we're good, man. He was the safest pick in the draft that doesn't win championships, but it sells tickets. Okay, Salty. That's you know what, bro? That's the perfect comment. That's the perfect comment. And that's what I was trying to tell people yesterday. Like, okay, I feel like I have an obligation to you guys. That it is my obligation to remain in this space. No disrespect to Avery or whatever. Avery did what was best for him, and I will do the same thing. But I feel like I have an obligation to stay in this space. You know why? Because it is very few people that still have a brain that thinks for themselves, right? Or not to go that far, but to say that, for instance, Salty's comment is what the Detroit Lions are. He was the safest pick in the draft that doesn't win championships, but it sells tickets. All right. So let's address the first thing to piggyback off Salty's comment. Yesterday, okay, I wake up in the morning and I see Ruben Bain splattered across my timeline. Now I have to be quiet because my wife is on the phone. I see Ruben Bain splattered across the timeline. And like, I think I'm a different Lions fan. I think I'm a very analytical. Y'all, look, I'm emotional. There's no doubt about it. But I think I don't think I get enough credit. I think I deserve more credit than I get. Let me tell you why. Although I'm emotional, I'm also very calculated. I'm also very thoughtful. I think things through, right? I give people chances. Brad Holmes was never going to trade up for Ruben Bain. He was never going to do that, okay? There is no mystery with Brad Holmes. He is not going to surprise you. You know how I know that? Because he told us. But not only did he tell us, he backs it up. Brad Holmes is not going to do any of those things. Myles Garrett will never be a Detroit Lion under Brad Holmes. Max Crosby will never be a Detroit Lion under Brad Holmes. We were never trading up for Ruben Bain, okay? A good friend of mine told me yesterday that, now you could argue, like I was seeing people, if you wanted a defensive end in the first round, there was nothing wrong with that. We could have taken a offensive tackle in the second round or vice versa, right? But if you wanted Ruben Bain, you were probably, only reason he probably fell out of the top 10 is because of the situation that came up about a week ago. But yesterday morning, I hear that Ruben Bain is if the draft board falls exactly right, that the Lions could trade up to 7. That was never going to happen. The reason that I get the way that I get, okay, is because Brad Holmes doesn't fool me. He doesn't fool me. He does what he wants to do. You traded up for Terrion Arnold, 2 spots. That's exactly where Ruben Bain went, 2 spots ahead of us. He never wanted Ruben Bain. He never wanted. So when I heard that yesterday morning, I was like, that's cap. He was never going to trade up for Ruben Bain. Here's my prediction. If Jermod McCoy is on the board at 50, that's who the Lions are going to take. Jermod McCoy will be a Lion at 50 if he's on the board. That's what I think. There's a slight chance, an off chance to me, that they take a pass rusher. But then you have the situation of what pass rusher do you take? Do you take Josh Pascal, or do you take a Josh Pascal equivalent, or do you take a Brian Branch equivalent? Do you take a steal in the second round? Do you take a flop in the second round? See, Brad Holmes doesn't fool me. He does not fool me. Okay? All that nonsense that he talked about evolving in the offseason, it was cap. I know that now. I understand it. I've known that for years. I have known that for years. Brad Holmes does what he wants to do. He did not want Ruben Bain. Okay? You better thank whoever that Aiden Hutchinson was there at 2, because he would have never, ever been a Detroit Lion. Right? That's what I understand. And I get it now. That's why I said this is like a bad marriage to me. I'm ready to be out of it. I'm ready to be out of it. Well, what about going back to when you want to go back to Millen? You want to go back to Mayhew? You want to go back to, you want to go? No, I don't care. I don't want to go back anywhere, but it can't be any worse than what we did. You think this little sprinkle, this little tickle of success is good enough for me? This ain't good enough for me, bruh. Look, Lombardies. That's it. Every fan base should say Lombardies every year. Here it is that they're actively tanking in the NBA, which should be a crime. Actively tanking, bro. Sitting. There was a team. I think it was the Utah Jazz. They had nothing but 2-way and 10-day players playing their game. They had like a 6-man rotation because the loser of the last game of the season had a better odds at the first pick or something like that. That's the product that they put on the field, on the court. So I'm over Brad Holmes, period. He has one job to do. If he brings us a Super Bowl, he gets my respect. If not, I'm ready to move on. That's it. But I'm not in charge. And you know what? If Brad Holmes, that's where we at. But hey, stop giving Snead less credit. He fumbled the bag. Sean was mad. He ain't fumbled no bag, Matthew. Les Snead is a Super Bowl champion, bro. What are we talking about? Don't start with me this morning, bro. Don't start with me this morning. I'm actually glad there was a little pushback. I'm glad, bro. I'm glad Les did what he wanted to do. I'm glad. First of all, that's not my organization. Second, it's good to see people push back. It's good. Look, I am over the drone mentality. This, you know what the Detroit Lions fans are? We are like an episode of Black Mirror. That's what we are. We can make an episode. Lions fans, an episode of Black Mirror, bro. That's what we can be. Everybody, and you know what the episode would be? Hive mind, where we all share the same mind. If one person sees you, the entire world sees you. Then maybe they put an implant inside you. And it allows you to, if I see you, the whole world can see you. That's what the Detroit Lions are. I'm glad it was a little controversy in the Rams. The Rams are Super Bowl champions. The Rams are a better team than the Detroit Lions. So maybe they needed that. I'm glad of that. I like how can you say he can't drive a Pascal? You don't know Pascal was good in college. It don't make no sense. Okay, King, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, bro? The man had cancer. The man had cancer, which prohibited him from playing. He was injured. So what are you talking about? And here's the thing. What I'm saying is a Pascal was a miss as a second round pick, bro. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. Do I have to break it down further for you, King? Come on, dog. What are we talking about? See, that's what I'm saying. Have I evolved past you guys? Am I like Dr. Manhattan? What are you talking about? It's very simple. You can't take a Broderick Martin. It ain't my job to know this guy at a college. It's his. So what are you talking about, bro? That's another thing, too. Whoever's picked, oh, you know everything about him. No, you don't. You're not a scout. You don't have time to sit there and watch every college player. Oh, this prospect. Listen, there's a YouTuber that I used to fraternize with. One thing I could not stand about this man, could not stand him, is that he knew every pick. And we used to make fun of him. We used to make fun of this guy. Because every time he said, hey, man, so what do you think about Pookie and Ray Ray? Man, Pookie and Ray Ray is trash, bro. I watched their college film. No, you didn't. Stop it. Stop it. Whoever you mention, hey, man, what do you think about Grandma Tate? Oh, man, Grandma Tate, man, she trash. He knew everything about every player. Stop it, bro. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Our fathers never stood up to the Lions and said enough is enough. I'm glad we speak up now. We are the small majority. But I don't even want to make this about that. I'm just telling you what kind of place I'm in. I'm in a place of peace. I'm in a place of peace. My irritation is more at the fan base than anything else. You know, nothing anyone says on Twitter is going to change me being a Lions fan. I'm a season ticket holder. Okay. I'm very happy. I'm very excited about that. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited to see. I've been with people and they've gone. I want to experience this. I've never had season tickets. My family has never had season tickets. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it. I am, just to experience it. Do I know what I'm getting myself into? And it's okay because I made that choice, and I can also make that choice to re-op. I can also make that choice to not pay my bill every month. So it's a choice. It's not like I'm glued into this. You know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, I think about this. We could have had Hutchinson plus Jalen Carter, Bain very easily. Feels like I could draft better than Brad. I hate the mediocrity of our pick. The football god shine upon you. What's up, RJ? All the edge rushers going to be taken in the second round before Brad Holmes takes one. You know what? So hey, shout out to Ross, says no one knows everything about every prospect, all facts. He was probably the first choice all along. What's up, David? He probably was. You know what? And fine. Like I said, I have nothing wrong. I have no issues with Blake Miller. The guy, they thought he was fine. You know what I'm saying? Fine. We needed a tackle. We got one. If you thought he was BPA, but like I said, I love the fact that people are not sold on this. People are like, yo, I didn't want this guy. It's okay. You don't hear that anymore. It's like, oh, everything Brad does is fine. No, it's not. It's not fine. It's not fine. You could come around to Blake if you didn't like him, which is also fine. You know what I'm saying? That's probably what I'm on. I don't care. Look, Blake Miller, Monroe Freeland, whatever. We need a tackle. You took the best. Here's what I say about Brad Holmes. I think he caps. I think he caps, man. He'll scream BPA. He'll scream this. He'll scream that. He'll scream, oh, somebody tried to trade up, but somebody called him about trading up or whatever he said. I think it's all cap. That's what I'm understanding now. I get it now. I told y'all this before. I get it. He is not a mystery to me anymore. He was a mystery in year 1, 2, and 3. He is no longer a mystery. We know exactly what this man is going to do. That's why I am predicting, like I said earlier, Jermon McCoy at 50. I would love to be wrong. I would love for him to take a TJ Parker. I would love for him to take one of these edge rushers that fell out of the first round. It ain't nothing wrong with a second round edge rusher. The edge rusher never had to be first round. Why have you heard me not talk about edge rushers? Because we needed a tackle more. We needed to fix that offensive line. And now our offense is pretty much gravy, but we still need a linebacker. We don't know what's happening with our starting safeties. Okay. We need some defensive help. We need to get somebody that either is backing up Hutch and or Wonham. So the job is not done. I'm going to tell you what I am. My favorite thing about yesterday is that we did not give up any capital. That is my favorite thing about yesterday, because even though I knew the Ruben Bain thing was crap and cap, I also was like, dog, if he moves up 10 spots to get Ruben Bain, what is he going to sacrifice? And I'm going to tell you what, I had a problem with that. Because we're not in a position to sacrifice for Ruben Bain. Those days are gone. 2024, that was the year that we were in the position to sacrifice. It was our first year without a Matthew Stafford pick after 2021. That was the year that if we were going to sacrifice picks, we could have done it. But we cannot do that. 26 is not that year. We need all 9 picks. Or we need all 9 picks to turn it into 5 to 6 solid players. That 4 of those players need to be starting. The first, second, and both 4th round picks should be starting. That's where we're at. The draft starts at 7. First of all, shout out to the 8-minute rounds, bro. The 8-minute rounds was fantastic. I think they got to tighten it up a little bit more because we got off at about 11:08. Sometimes the commercials run long. Sometimes the people talking, they talk too much. So if the NFL took that first round to 7 minutes, that would be fantastic. But I loved this because it was always moving. Can you guys remember when the first round was like 15 minutes and people were just sitting there? It's crazy. It felt great to be off a little after 11 instead of a little after 12. And I think the network started pushing them. I blocked King Turner because the spam bothers me. That's funny. Yeah, you could do that. Derek, I'm getting old. When did you first start streaming on Blitz channel? This is like, man, Rich, when did I start? I want to say it was 2017 or 2018. But yeah, you're right. It's either year 8 or 9. So it's been almost a decade for sure. What is King spam? What does he spam me? What does he spam me? Okay, King Turner is weird. You said I'm a ham. What does that even mean, bro? I'm a pig? What does that even mean, bro? You see what I'm saying? Like people being that's crazy. King, what I'm a ham. What is a ham? A sandwich? You saying you want to eat me, bro? What's happening? What's happening, dog? We going there? Because I don't roll like that, my brother. I don't roll. I'm a ham. I'm tasty. Is that what you saying? You want to put me on some toast? What you saying, brother? What are you saying, brother? Huh? A burger, a hamburger cornball. Oh, a burger and a cornball. Oh, so that's a compliment, King. Thank you. Because I got AdSense a couple days ago for sitting talking about the Lions. And it was a nice little pretty penny. You know what I'm saying? I get to sit and talk about the Lions and you get to watch. So you can call me a cornball. And last I heard, Will Smith was a cornball. He out there slapping people. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm going to slap people. That ain't what I do. But being called a cornball is a compliment. Thank you. You know why? Because I'm married. But I ain't gonna even go there. I ain't even gonna go there. But people think they be dogging me with the cornball. That's the biggest compliment you can give me is I'm a cornball. You know what that means? Everybody. I fit in with everybody. That's what that means. Hey, it's Deutschmarks. I'm like Carlton from the Fresh Prince. I'm like when I go to Philly and I'm out there, I'm C-Note. You can call me D-Note, young punk. That's funny to me. I'm a cornball. Why? Because I speak like this? Is that why? It's funny to me, bro. That's funny to me. You can call me whatever you want. Cornball is my favorite. It's my favorite because I get this cornball right here. gets money. The largest creator that actually pushes realness. Okay. So you can call me a cornball. Be careful what you call me though, because you call me some things, it's gonna be a problem. All right. But anyway, we gonna let this guy stay in the chat. What up, Nation? What's good with you? Thank you, David. I appreciate that. In Detroit, he basically means goofy or lame, which is fine, man. It's for all of that stuff. I've been called goofy and lame. I've been called lame my entire life, which is fine. That does not bother me. It does not bother me because lame people wind up on top. I'm lame because of what? But anyway, he's stupid. He's stupid. In Detroit, let me see. He talking to the guy in the chat, not you, Derek. Oh, okay. My bad. I'm trying to say, dude. I'm saying dude trying to block me. Oh, that's funny. All right. Oh, wait, King, look, I thought you was talking to me, and that's my fault. Derek, stop it. You're far from a cornball. Oh, no. I'm definitely a cornball for sure. Hello. Will says, hello, this is my time chatting. Okay. Let me see. So listen. When I see something in the chat, I automatically think you're talking to me. That's just how YouTube is designed. I don't think I forgot all about going back and forth, but it's okay, King. It's all love, bro. If it's love, it's love. If it ain't, it ain't. Don't matter to me, bro. It don't matter to me. Look, I just say what needs to be said and keep it moving. All right. So speaking of keeping it moving, let's move on to the second round, shall we? I will say YouTube, social media has turned me into super aggressive, like I'm uber aggressive, man. I'm automatically on defense mode, like right away. All right. So what do the Lions do today? Lions have 8 picks left. I'm not mad at the Blake Miller pick. You know, look, whether you thought he was BPA, that is subjective. The Lions took him or whatever. Now, dang, that air about to cut on. I'm about to start freezing. That's crazy. Now we're at the point where we have 8 picks left. Now, we're not going to leave the draft with 8 picks. That's not going to happen. I suspect that we'll leave with 5, maybe 6, okay? Maybe less. Maybe that includes Blake. What do the Detroit Lions do now? What would you like them to do now? Our offense is pretty much set. Do I see a wide receiver? I don't know if I see a wide receiver because we got Tom Kennedy, Dominic Levitt. We have Deutsch. We've got Jackson Meeks. So I don't know if a receiver is in the future this draft for the Detroit Lions. But I have a feeling we'll see a linebacker somewhere. I have a feeling we'll see a safety. I have a feeling that we will see more. I'm hoping that we'll see some defense. That's what I hope. Hypothetically, what you have done if we would have gotten Ruben Bain. Okay, so here's what I would have done. If Ruben Bain was there at 7, I didn't want the Lions to trade up for him because I'm like, to move up 10 spots from 17 to 7, you were going to give up a lot. Look what the Chiefs gave up to move up 2 spots in the middle of the early round. You were going to give up a lot to move up, and I think we need more than a Ruben Bain. We're not a Ruben Bain away from a championship. That's what I felt. But when he started getting closer, if he would have taken if he was there at 17 and we didn't take him, I would have been like, wow. But I would have expected that. Even at 15, it would have been more than trading up for Terrion Arnold, but I wouldn't have been mad because I would have been like, okay, because here's where I was at. One thing we know we need is a pass rusher. Like one that we've known that we've needed. So if he would have taken Ruben Bain at 15, if he was there at 17, that would have told me that, okay, the Lions are starting to think outside of the box because, one, Ruben had the little situation that he had a couple years ago that information came out. So it knocked him off the Detroit Lions radar, right? The short hands thing, short arms, it didn't bother me because they said Hutch got short arms. They said Aaron Donald got short arms, and they both wind up being dogs. I have no doubt Ruben Bain is going to be a dog. So if we would have taken him at 15, wouldn't have been mad. If we would have taken him at 17, wouldn't have been mad. What it would have done is it would have told what the Lions did is what we expected them to do. If they would have taken Ruben Bain at 15, at 7, or at 17, that is what we did not expect them to do. Because the only first-round pass rusher that has been taken is Aiden Hutchinson. The only pass rusher that has been taken prior to the 6th round is Aiden Hutchinson. So it would have been something that we have never seen under Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell outside of Hutch, right? We've never seen that. So I would have been shocked, and it would have started to kind of change my mindset of Brad Holmes of, you know what, even though free agency was lackluster, maybe he's finally getting it and actually adapting, evolving with the times. But he did exactly what we thought he was going to do, take an offensive tackle, which is fine. It's fine too. But Reuben Bain was never going to happen. Now, I'm more curious about what he's going to do now because everybody expected him to do that. King Turner with the super chat says, new GM wins. It's off Brad. Core, isn't it? I'm back. Okay. And King, bro, come on. King, you listen. You got to be smarter than this, bro. You have to be smarter than this. Do you think, okay, let's since you want to give credit to old GMs, let's think, can we thank Bob Quinn for setting up this O-line for Brad Holmes? The O-line success is from Bob Quinn. Make sure you thank him. So send a super chat for that. Okay. Secondly, do you think anybody will give a fart about Brad Holmes and what Brad Holmes did for this team if he's no longer the general manager of the Detroit Lions? Are you kidding me? Brad Holmes will become the Mark Jackson of the Detroit Lions. What are you talking about? It will be all about Steve Kerr. No one will care about Matthias. So you can do whatever you want to do. The NFL stands for not for long, and what have you done for me lately? No one is going to care that Brad set up. He set up the team for success. No one's going to care. He's not going to get a Super Bowl ring. He's not going to go down in the history books, but he's going to have his 2 General Manager of the Year awards as he looking at our Lombardi. Come on, dog. What are we talking about? If you want to give him credit, fine. I'm going to give it all to the new GM. Every last cent. I'm going to give every last ounce of credit to the new GM. You know why? Because no one thanks Bob Quinn for Taylor Decker and Frank Ragnow. Not a single person. Neither one of them are here, by the way. So no, will not happen. Shout out to Jay with the super chat as well. Says, if we don't get an edge today, bro, I'm not expecting one, and neither should you. Neither should you. But speaking of edges, let's take a look at the best available. I'm gonna need y'all. Listen, I need y'all, man, to have a mind of your own, bro. Have a mind of your own. Okay, where's the best available? I don't know why it's not here. Draft round 1, draft class. Do I click there? Yeah, there it is. All right. So best available. Here are the best available. This is kind of a nightmare. It's kind of a nightmare. Okay, best available. Overall, Jermod McCoy. He is the best available. I wonder who's going to take him. All right, let's go to edge. Let's go to edge because that's what I'm hoping the Lions do. It would be nice to see, even if Brad takes an edge in the second round, I wouldn't be mad at that. That's something that outside of Josh Pascal, but then you have to wonder, okay, who's a Josh Pascal comparison, right? Now, I will say this. I looked at some pre-draft analysis stuff, and here are the top 5 edge rushers that are available right now starting round 2. The San Francisco 49ers, they could take an edge rusher, right? Because they didn't take one. They didn't take one round 1, right? They could take an edge rusher. Zion Young is number 1. His pro comp is George Karlaftis. Number 2 is Cassius Howell. Number 3 is Gabe Jacobs. Number 4 is TJ Parker. And number 5 is Derek Moore out of Michigan. Those are the top 5 edge rushers. I would be ecstatic if Brad took an edge rusher at 50. I really would. I would give him the benefit of the doubt of not being a Josh Pascal. You know what I'm saying? Yes, the draft starts. Fave, how do you not know this, brother? How do you not know this? Every year it's the same thing. The draft starts at 8 o'clock on day 1. It is 7 o'clock day 2. It is noon on day 3. So tomorrow, early afternoon, the longest day in the history of mankind, we are on for 7 hours. So I need everybody to, go out with the family, spend time, go do some yard work. Make sure you stop by, bro. Tomorrow going to be a tough day. Day 3 is tough. And then on top of that, we go right into UDFAs. Right into UDFAs. The good news about today is the Lions currently only have 1 pick. So after 50, they're not picking unless Brad trades up into the 3rd round, which I'm a little leery about. But if he can trade up into the 3rd round, take another stud, a potential stud, then that's 3 players right there that can make an immediate impact. Okay? Right? Look, I'm not mad at Holmes at this draft so far. I'm not mad. What I was mad at is the fan base for believing that Bain was ever in play. He was not. Reuben Bain was never in play. He was never in play. If it weren't for Josh Pascal, I would say an edge rusher is not at play. But I will say if Jermod McCoy is there at 50, that's who I think the Lions take. Uncle Phil don't make it happen. We move on. Okay, let me see. You got that right. Wait, we still talking about Fresh Prince? What are we talking about? Hey, Ned, absolutely we can. We did it. We didn't do a deep dive, but we did do a dive not too long ago on Lion Syndicate. So we can 100%. We can do that after the draft if you guys want. Let me see. Okay, what's up, Tay Tay? What's good with you, man? Did you see the 10 players you could interest who could interest Lions? It was a couple of good edges on that list. Hey, I wouldn't mind TJ Parker. They got his comp as Trey Hendrickson. Oh, it's pronounced Yakis? Oh, and not Jackus? Okay. Well, I mean, when I first saw it, I thought something else. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Gabe Yakis. Okay. My wife and I was talking about the English language. It's like, yo, why do they make it so complicated? Why couldn't that just be a Y? Why couldn't it be a Y and make it easy? Why does it have to be like that? You know what I'm saying? Like it's in English, that is a J. So it should be. So anyway, English is weird. What day next month is the draft? Q-Ball, you are stupid, bro. Let me see. Remember when they drafted Broderick Martin? I do. I will never forget. We have so many corners already on the roster. I'll be mad if we took one at 50. Hey, I would look, I wouldn't like it either. I wouldn't mad either. Brad Holmes is Uncle Phil. No. Tremont second round 2 incoming. TJ Parker, Zion Young, Derek Moore, Gabe Yakis, Sutton from Penn State, Cassius Howell. So what? That's the order you got, Raw? I want Harold Perkins Jr. Let me see, how far down is he? And you know what? Here's the thing too, y'all. We still got 2 4th-round picks. So even if Brad doesn't take in second-round edge rusher, which I am not saying that he will. I don't think he will. I would love if he does. But there's also 2 4th-round picks. Here's what I'm going by. I'm only going by the history of Holmes. And the history of Holmes doesn't say an edge rusher is in the second round. It doesn't. And if he does take an edge rusher in the second round, will it be like, which one of these guys do you not want? His name is Dennis Sutton. That's the guy you're talking about? What edge rusher in the second round would you not just be like, no, don't take this guy? Oh, Lions are live right now. Really? No, I'm not going to do that. I don't care about, I'm sorry. I've never really cared about what the players say when they come into the team. I don't really care, Aaron, no offense, brother, but I don't really care what he has to say. He going to say the same thing Ahmed Hassanin say. I don't really care. So, that's just me. Derek Moore could be a Lion. If he falls to us, how would you feel if we took Jacob Rodriguez? I've been hearing that name a lot. Who is Rodriguez? I would love Jacob Rodriguez on this team. Q ball, what draft? Let me see. Oh, linebacker? That's why. Okay. Jacob Rodriguez. Oh, from Texas Tech. Whoa, Lord. His face. Lord have mercy. His face looks like a lion. Dog. Oh my God, look at this. Dang, bro. Look at this dude's neck. Tell me that don't look like a lion if you ever saw one. Bro, like a Detroit lion. Look at this guy's neck. Look at his neck, bro. His neck is the same width of his head. You know how, dog, look at this guy's neck. Jawbones are crazy pronounced. That is crazy, bro. So we would have 2 Rodriguez's on the team at linebacker. What round do you think he goes in? Here's all I want. All I want is for Brad to prioritize the defense, right? So let's just hypothetically say, how long we've been on? All right. Okay, we got 20 more minutes. So let's just hypothetically say that Brad, so we know we won't go all defense, but let's say that the Detroit Lions keep all 8 remaining picks, which they probably won't. The 7th round picks are going to be special teamers at best. So we're not expecting a lot from the 7th round pick. There is potential in the 6th round pick, a 5th round pick. Brad's track record in these later rounds are not the best. They're really not. Even the 3rd round, you've got Aleem McNeil. You've also got Broderick Martin. You've got Hendon Hooker. You've got some other Kirby Joseph taken in the third round. So the third round, but we don't have a third round pick, right? So let's say that we keep these. How many of these picks would you like to be on defense? And how many of those picks would you like? Like, what positions would you like? We definitely need a linebacker. I think we need a linebacker. We need a safety, but we also have Dan Jackson. But we need a linebacker. We need an edge. We need a safety. That's. I mean, you might sprinkle cornerback in there somewhere down the line, if you want to do a Chase Lucas type cornerback. But Dan Jackson is on the roster. He was a 7th round pick from last year, right? I will say, it doesn't appear that Brad Holmes takes if like this draft right now, it does have the potential to go completely different from what Brad Holmes does, because all I do is I look at the track record, right? So if you look at Brad Holmes' track record, the cornerbacks that he's taken has been in round 1 and 2. We signed a bunch in free agency. We traded for Carlton Davis. We signed Cam Sutton. We signed DJ Reed. But Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw were taken in rounds 1 and 2. Then you go back to who else? If you look at the secondary, we did take a safety in the third round at Ife Melifonwu. We took a safety in the third round of Brian Branch. We took a safety in the second round Brian Branch second round, Kirby Joseph third. But if you look at cornerbacks, there's been no cornerbacks in the 4th, 5th, or 6th round. So we've had Chase Lucas, and Chase Lucas was the 7th round pick, right? So after the 1st and 2nd round, cornerbacks really we don't take. So I'm curious to know if we don't take a cornerback in round 2, we have no 3rd round pick. Will Brad take one in the 4th, 5th, or 6th? That's the question. Those are the rounds we have 2 picks in. I think Brad is going to give up two of those picks to come up and get another guy. So I think out of this draft, we had 9 picks to start. I think we wind up with 6 players, 5 to 6 players. Lions will draft a safety, trade everything else for game changer starting defensive lineman. Okay, let's do this. Let's think off the board right now. You know what I could see happening to keep it $150? There's one thing that's getting in the way, if you ask me. Okay? The Giants, I think, are going to trade Kayvon Thibodeau because of what they did yesterday. They took, with their 5th round pick, a linebacker, a pass rushing linebacker. I think that they are going to trade Kayvon Thibodeau. I think he gets traded today. Trayvon Thibodeau. Kayvon. I'm thinking Trayvon Walker. Let me see. Kayvon Thibodeau. I think he gets traded tomorrow. He's going to get traded tomorrow. He's going to get traded like DeAndre Swift did. Now, here's the thing about Kayvon. Kayvon, it's the $14 million that is in the way. But I could see if Brad doesn't take an edge rusher at 50, I could see us trading for Kayvon Thibodeau. The issue is there's 2 issues. One, he's a 1-year rental. Brad doesn't have problems with that. We rented Carlton Davis. So he doesn't have the 1-year rental thing, does not, bother Brad Holmes. The $14 million will bother Brad Holmes. We don't have a pass rusher over $10 million, not named Aiden Hutchinson. But I will say he liked Kayvon Thibodeau coming out of college. I think if Hutch was gone, I think Kayvon Thibodeau would have been the pick, and I think he would be a Detroit Lion. So that's something to watch out for is Kayvon Thibodeau getting traded. I can see Brad Holmes taking a defensive tackle with the remaining 8 picks. Braylon, that is hilarious. Would you give up a 4th for Kayvon? A 4th, yes. I would give up David Montgomery's 4th, but I would do this. Here's what I would do. If you want us to eat all $14 million, I need a pick back. You got to give me a pick, bro. You got to give me a 6th round pick. If I'm going to give you a 4th round pick, you got to give me a 6th round pick. 4th is high. It's high for a 1-year rental. But we also rented. We essentially gave up a 6 and something else for Zadarius Smith, and he wound up being a rental. So the rental part does not bother Brad Holmes. The price does. So if they ate some of that, if they could get that under $10 million, like let's say Lions took 9 and the Giants ate 5, I could see them trading for Kayvon Thibodeau. It would have to be some money involved. Or they take up, I don't know. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. Maybe we get like somebody with a small contract and they take somebody with a bigger contract. I don't know. Let me see. Pons is like a Meek Robinson with speed. You're an edge lover. Who do you want to get picked? I'm not an edge rusher, an edge lover. I'm a defense lover. I'm a defense wins championships. I think Pons is the pick personally. Let me see. No, you're going to have to give a 3rd round pick for Kayvon for a 4th round due to his salary. Let me see. No, you're going to have to give me a 3rd round pick. It's what we get. Yeah, his salary is the problem. His salary is the problem. So I will say that, like I said, if we don't take a pass rusher at 50, I think that Kayvon Thibodeau is on the table. I think he is. But again, we have 2 4th round picks, so Brad has done. But this is what he's never done, so I'm not expecting him to do this, right? I would be surprised if he takes a edge in the 2nd, an edge in the 4th, an edge in the 5th, an edge in the 2nd, 4th, or 5th. I would be surprised. I am expecting, it would be hilarious if we took an edge at one of these 6th round picks, because that's what I said we were going to do. So that would be absolutely hilarious. Braylon says I'm being dead serious about that defensive tackle. Ross says no way they're taking Pons. All right, so who do you like not want the Lions to take? Who do you want them to stay away from? So what do y'all think? So Kayvon Thibodeau, his salary is $14 million. All right, so let's go to overall and let's look at the best 10 available players. According to ESPN, Jermon McCoy, best available. Emmanuel McNeil-Warren out of Toledo, he's a safety. Avion Terrell, Clemson. Now, I will say this, knowing that TJ Parker is Clemson, I was like, watch we take him. Denzel Boston out of Washington. Caden McDonald, Ohio State. Zion Young, Missouri is number 6. Cassius Howell, number 7. Colton Hood, number 8. Chase Bisontis is number 9. And Anthony Hill Jr. is number 10. I do think that Brad can find, if he don't give up too much capital, I do think that he can find a diamond in rounds 4 through 6. He don't have the best track record in round 5. So round 5 is I would love to see that for him to get somebody impactful in round 5, because he hasn't done that. We had James Mitchell, Kobe Sorsdahl. The 5th round for the Lions under this regime has been a mess. It really has. So if he could find that diamond, because there's always a diamond in the rough, right? It was Malcolm Rodriguez year 1. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a diamond out there. I mean, you could call Max Crosby a diamond, really. The dude was picked in the 4th round. So there's guys that it ain't over by any means. The question is, what is Brad Holmes going to do? That's the problem. Like you got a lot of people that you think are best available, and then he goes and he does something that floors you. You just like, what are we talking about? Like somebody retweeted a tweet of me the other day. It was after the Broderick Martin, the 2023 draft. I made a video that was like, let Brad Holmes cook. And he retweeted it. I don't know if he dug this thing up or what, or bookmarked it. He was like, what happened to this guy? And I said, he died that day. He was murdered that day. That guy was murdered brutally that day, because that day is when, that was the last day I trusted Brad Holmes. It really was, because you gave up all these picks for Broderick. Nobody knew who he was, but we trusted you. And you ruined that trust. I mean, you did, man. You run. Look, you can't keep living off your 1st and 2nd round of 2023. You just can't do it, because the 2024 draft was a complete failure. The 2025 draft, the jury is still out, and the rest of 2023 was atrocious. Name the 4 picks that were taken after Brian Branch. I can only name 3. Name the 4 picks taken without cheating. Name the 4 picks taken after Brian Branch in 2023. There were only 4. There you go. Hooker, Martin, Sorsdal, and Green in that order. It was Green I was forgetting about. Hooker, Martin, and Green are not on the team. Hooker and Martin were third-round picks. Sorsdal will not be on the team come September, and Green was a seventh-round pick who had to retire due to medical issues. That was the latter half. Do you know Hooker and Martin were taken in the top 100? Hooker and Martin were taken in the top 100, and they're no longer on our team. That's bad. That's bad. Those are two positions, two players that could be impactful right now. It doesn't matter anymore, says King Turner. Of course it matters, because that's one of the reasons that our team needs what it needs. The best case scenario the rest of the draft is the defense. I would love that. If the defense is right, you still can't miss. Because that's the problem, though, Matt, is we can't miss. Watch we take somebody nobody is talking about. Antonio, exactly. That's what we expect to happen. CB Coates and Hood rather than McCoy as well. It says, one prize says, oof, I have nightmares about the draft after Branch. King, come on, dog. Come on, dog. I'm not trying to get a headache prior to the draft. All right? Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do the every GM makes bad picks things. Don't do that. Every GM is not the Detroit Lions general. Listen, this is a job. This is the job. This is the job. Okay? The only job that I think could compare to the Detroit Lions is the Cleveland Browns. Don't do that. Don't do that. Every GM makes bad. Every GM is not the Detroit Lions. Every GM has not been goated as the greatest general manager the Detroit Lions have ever seen. Don't do that. Of course he makes bad picks. Of course every GM makes bad picks. Les Snead might have made one yesterday. But we are not talking about every GM. We're talking about the greatest general manager the Detroit Lions have ever seen. Bradley, Matthias, Jerome, Cornelius, Leonardo DiCaprio Holmes, the man that everybody would want to be the godfather of their unborn child. Let's not do that. We're not doing that. The Lions have been around since 1934. Many have died. Many have died waiting on a Super Bowl. Brad Holmes does not have time to make bad picks. He doesn't. If you care about Super Bowls, that is. If you just want to be good, he can keep doing what he's doing. Don't do that, King. I'm not in the mood, bro. I'm not in the mood, man. We always take a player no one is talking about. Is there a GM? Is there anyone left that you would celebrate if we draft him? Matthew, somebody impactful that's not injury prone, that ain't coming off a season injury in a position that can help us win a championship, particularly on defense. Just get my linebacker and edge. Brad can do whatever after that. Ian be tripping. It's like saying every QB throws interceptions. What that is called copium. Lions PTSD is real. The Rakestraw pick is what did it for me because he was drafted so high. That, and you know what? And that's the one that really shocked me, man. I was like, what are we doing? Because see, here's the thing. So ever since we took Aiden, like literally at that moment, I've been waiting on a pass rush, right? So then so here's how it played out in my mind. We take Aiden Hutchinson, then we trade up. And Brad, oh my God, Roger Goodell stumbled over Jamison Williams. How hard is it to announce Jamison Williams' name? Okay. He stumbled over Jamison Williams. So as I'm getting it, okay, wow, we took Jamison Williams. So I'm like, what about the defense though, right? We're coming off of 313 in one season. Defense has been cheeks. The defense has been cheeks since they got here, right? So I'm like, okay, so we take Josh Pascal. All right. I saw DT, and now I realize what I saw yesterday. When I saw DT yesterday, but Roger Goodell said edge. He said edge. So because he's reading the card and he's reading whatever the team wrote, right? So now we're like, okay, now we move to 2023. And I'm like, all right, when you going to take this pass rusher? So we take Jahmyr Gibbs. Will Anderson, if you ask me, I think Will Anderson was in reach. He was in reach. We picked at 6. He was 3rd. We could have but again, Brad. So at this point, we don't really know who Brad is. We don't know who Brad is. So then you take Jahmyr Gibbs, you take Jack Campbell, we need a linebacker, you take Sam Laporta, you take Brian Branch. Okay, then we know about the 2023 draft. The 2024 draft, you take Terrion Arnold, you trade up to get him. Okay, second round, you got to be taking a pass rusher, right? Because we signed Marcus Davenport in free agency. You already know he a bum. He not gonna work out. So you're gonna take a edge rusher, right? With the second round pick, in this race draw. What the heck are we doing, right? Now 2025 come. What do? You re-sign Marcus Davenport. You take Tyleik Williams. You don't put an edge rusher until the sixth round. The sixth round. The year before that, we took Mekhi Wingo, which is an undersized defensive tackle, in the sixth round. So now I'm saying, oh, I get it. He does not care. But in between the 2024 and 5 offseason, Brad Holmes said, the fans care more about the edge position than we do. Direct words from his mouth. That's when I realized, oh, he genuinely does not care. So I do not expect a second round edge rusher. I don't expect a fourth round edge rusher. I don't expect a fifth round edge rusher, and kind of hoping he doesn't take one because of the fifth round success. And I am fully, who's ever sitting there left in the sixth round, he'll take them, or he'll wait to undraft a free agency and take them, and they won't even make the team. So, but I'm hoping he surprises me and does something that I don't expect him to do in a way that will actually help this team. Says, do you guys ever wonder what goes through through Hutch's head when Brad is done drafting every year and we never get him help, or do you think he doesn't care? Okay, so that's a really good question, man. I think that he does care, but Hutch is so focused on him that he doesn't let it bother him, but I think he cares. I think he does care, because if you watch interviews when they talk about like him pairing him up with unbelievable combos, he gets excited. He gets it. When you brought up the Myles Garrett, he got excited. When you brought up Max Crosby, he got excited. If he had to rush with Trey Hendrickson, he got excited. I just hate that Brad does him like that. I hope that, I hate that he does him like that, where he just, look, he has come out and said, it's like, I almost said something that would have been so wrong, but it's like, yeah, Hutch, he just uses him to death. I'm afraid he's going to wear him out. But, and then the way he treated Zadarius Smith also told us a lot how he feels about the pass rush position. He doesn't care. He does not care. That's bottom line. I think that's ultimately going to be the thing to why we don't win. That's just my opinion. Let me see. You should watch the Pat McAfee show. Hey, Matt, so what happened? What happened? Davenport should become a Lions gym trainer. That's funny. He makes so much money. He doesn't care. Bro, how are y'all letting this dude? This how you know that he's kind of low-key a troll. He's commenting the most. You see the crown by his head? That means but he's also just gibberish. Hutch don't talk bad about anyone. No. That's not what he meant, Ned. He's just like, how you think he feels? Do you think like he's like, dang, bro, would you get me can I get some help? I think maybe he thinks about that every so often, but I think with Hutch, his work ethic and what he can control, he worried about drinking water and being the best version of himself. That G ball, let me see. That G ball guy looks like he's going to be a dude. Who is G ball? Okay, D, does Laporta get traded? Oh, today to get more picks by day 2? I'm going to say no. But one pride, that's something that we've been so wrapped up in day 1, man. I forgot all about that. No, I do not think that happens. Based on Rod Wood's comment, I don't think that happens. Is it a possibility? Absolutely, but I don't think it happens. They were trying to mimic what Blake Miller does on the field. Oh, okay. Let me see. No way Brad is too skinny to be a DT. No. That's what they were saying. That Brad was a DT. That's what it's been. Yeah. Yep. That's what they've been saying. But yeah, man. So listen, we'll be on tonight. It's all love, everybody. We all want the same thing. And, I'm going to say that, but I got to entertain. I'm not one of them dry eyes creators that, anyway, I'm telling you what, man, I'm one of them guys that, like I was telling my wife. Okay, where are we at? So I'm one of them guys that I'm real cool. I'm nice to everybody. And I will give you several benefits of several doubts. But I'm one of them dudes that when I've been messed over, then that's when it's hard. It's hard for me to really, like that's when I get beside myself, because I feel like I open myself up, you know what I'm saying? Very trusting when I shouldn't be. And I I'm very vulnerable because I'm a nice guy. I like to help people in any way. You know what I'm saying? YouTube with help that they need. And then once I get messed over, man, it's hard for me to get past that. It really is, because a lot of time, most of the time, I don't really deserve it. You know what I'm saying? This space is a dog eat dog world, and it is a lot of dogs that are trying to eat. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, we will be on tonight. I think the stream is set up at 6:30. We'll be live forever. And then tomorrow. So in the meantime, I'm gonna work on this software, see if I can update it and figure out how to get everybody on the clock in the right spot. And we'll go from there. With that being said, man, I appreciate y'all. See you tonight. Hopefully we take a pass rusher. And yeah, man, I'll tell you what. I wanted to watch the game yesterday. I wanted to watch the NBA rather than the draft. And if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I probably wouldn't even watched it, to be honest with you. So that's where we at. All right. See y'all soon. See y'all tonight.
And I'm pissing off the neighbors, whether homegrown or imported. We feeling shorted, cause we waiting on our paper. So next time when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, where we get back on our feet. Next time when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, when we get back on our feet. Yeah, you don't know about the D, you don't know about the streets, cause when you're in the motor city, nothing is as pretty as the hustle. You don't know about the D, you don't know about the streets, cause when you're in the motor city, everything ain't pretty, but it's love though. Next time when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, where we get back on our feet. Next time when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, when we get back on our feet. Yeah.